Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the City of Healing, where the city resides within. This is your sister, Sanette and Terangela. I hope that everyone is having a beautiful Saturday so far. Wanted to come forth and just, do a brief share. So much is going on, so much I won't be able to talk about, so much that I can't even talk about without really being censored or criticize or scrutinize about, my thoughts and feelings about everything. So I won't even go there. I don't even have to. It hasn't changed. Everything that I thought was going to happen is happening, and it will continue to progress. But, I try not to focus or look at the news, and I just try to stay in high vibration spiritually and see where that takes me. So that's where I am with that. Wanted to just talk a little bit instead about sitting still with yourself so that you can really find out what loving yourself feels like. Me myself, I've been sitting still with myself since I was a child. Not that I didn't have siblings, I don't know if I shared before. My sisters and I grew up in foster homes, and we were separated at one point. But when we did get together, and as the elders used to say, I always had an old soul. So I spent a lot of time by myself, thinking and contemplating and having my own thought process and my own feelings about what I felt was going on with myself and others in the world. So I always been like that, and I always, been able to think on my own, not really, relying too much on what others say. I'm not easily influenced, although I am a great listener, and I do like to listen to other people's point of view. But when it comes down to my personal decisions about things that I want to like or do in my life, I have a very strong but humble opinion of that. But sitting still with yourself is so very important because, when all else leaves you, your family, your friends, your job, your loved ones, you always still end up with yourself. So having a relationship with yourself and being able to think for yourself is so very important when you feel that all else fails. Myself, I'm not necessarily an extreme introvert, but I am somewhat. I can hang out with a multitude of people. I've always been like that. When I was in high school, I mostly, even though I had some black friends, but mostly I hung out, surprisingly, with white males, and some of them were gay white males, even though I considered myself straight and didn't even know they were gay at the time. But that's the way it's been. I hung out with Africans. I hung out with Chinese. As I mentioned, I worked in a Chinese restaurant. Hung out with Philippines, people from Hawaii, you name it. I can hang out with anybody, and it doesn't really matter their race, creed, sex, preferences, or anything. I hang out with everybody. But most of the time, I'm by myself. And, I don't have any cliques, even at work. Most people, when you see me, I'm by myself, but I speak to a lot of people. So that's how I am. So it doesn't bother me if someone doesn't really want to hang out with me or anything like that, even though I love people. I don't rely on other people for my happiness. And I think that's very important to, know yourself and knowing, I have a friend with me, knowing for yourself what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate, your likes, your dislikes. And as I told my children when they were younger, you're never bored, you're never lonely. And a hummingbird, I've seen a lot of hummingbirds lately. Two of them, like every day, once a day, I see a hummingbird. But anyway, you're never bored, you're never lonely, and you're never alone, really. The spiritual world, there's so much going around us that we can't see with our physical eyes. You're never, ever alone. And I never feel alone. and I'm never bored. And I helped raise or grew up around a lot of kids, and they never use the word bored around me, because if you're bored, I have a lot of things that you can do, too many things. So I'm never bored, and I encourage others, if they're around me, that they're never bored as well. So there's so much to do, so much to inquire about and research and look into. And I live in a kind of, I wouldn't say isolated neighborhood, but there's not too much going on here most of the time. But so much to just sit and observe, especially in nature. So much that I could be doing in the house. I don't like cleaning up a lot, but I don't have a messy or a home or anything like that, but I could clean. So much stuff I can do. There's no need to say that you're bored, no need to say that you're lonely. I don't talk to myself, but it's nothing wrong with that if you do. But I just wanted to just remind or encourage everyone, to sit still with yourself and get to know yourself and love yourself, and you'll draw really others into you that are interested in knowing you. And I kind of spread myself, thin. If I want to hang out with someone or someone to hang out with me, that's great. But if not, I'm perfectly happy, with myself. And that's so very key in socialization. You don't have to isolate yourself. You don't have to be an introvert. And most of the friends that I do have, I don't really have friends. I have those friends that are really like family to me, because if I'm friends with someone, it's just like, their family. And I do that for them as I will do for my family. There are some certain situations, if you're in a relationship, you're looking at someone as a relationship partner, you want certain things from them. So that's kind of different. So you do have to, in all aspects, all types of relationships, you have to make sure that you're not being taken for granted or used or anything like that. I understand that, and I've had that lesson over and over and over and over again, because you want to give and you want to receive as well. You just don't want that to be the basis of any type of relationship, is you being the giver, and the expectation in the future would be that you are the giver, and you forget, hey, you got to receive something too. So that's important too. When you sit and get to know yourself, you know what you like, what you don't want to like, lack thereof, and getting to know yourself. You'd be surprised how many people don't really know themselves or love themselves, or can't even really sit still with themselves and figure out who they really are, and get to know themselves, and getting familiar with nature and the spiritual realm. And if you're bored, there's just too much to do that you don't really even have to be bored. And I do so much by myself. I go to the mall, to the movies, not as much as I used to do. But, and I'm not really a friendly type of person. I'm a nice person, but my kids, they get to know, they meet friends every time we used to go out. They make 2 or 3 friends every time we go out. It's like, don't be talking to strangers like that. But they are totally very, very friendly kids. I guess that they get that from their dad. I'm not really a friendly type of person, socializing type of person, but I'm a very nice person. But anyway, I just wanted to come forth and just do that brief share. Hope that you all stay well and just make in life, the best decisions for yourself, and be confident in that, and be safe and positive and happy. And don't be afraid to sit with yourself and fall in love with yourself. That's it for now. Take care.